going on, guys? Back from World Cup imports versus domestics. The whole week, I was literally up there the whole week messing around. Before I go too far into it, I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Just give me a heads up that you can hear me, and we can just keep it moving so we can just party. If anyone is on. He says echo. Really? Okay, good. Let's see why there's an echo. Hold on. Hello. Is the echo gone now? Echo gone? Hello? Hello, hello, hello. A little echo. No echo. Good. Okay, good. Reverb. Gone. Beautiful. So I guess I had two microphones on, which I don't understand why this thing picks up two microphones, but fuck it. It's gone. Who gives a shit? Okay, so imports versus domestic recap. If you've had your head up your ass for the last couple of weeks and you didn't see the Flying Goose, we have renamed the Blue Goose to Flying Goose because that thing is absolutely insane right now. So let's give you a recap as to what happened with the Blue Goose. I'm going to release a video tomorrow night about the World Cup, imports versus domestic recap. So what ended up happening was we went to test Wednesday. We started doing, they had a track rental Wednesday. So we wanted to make sure that the car was dialed in. So we left, we did 3 full runs on Wednesday. First run was 820. Second run was 80. Third run was 767 with a 2. Okay, that thing broke its own record that it currently holds for the 6R80, still with IRS. Now, we did change to a 315/50/17 tire on some Bellac 11.5-inch wide wheels, 17 by 11.5. That thing was really just badass shit. So we punctured one. We must have been driving around the lanes and had a hole in one, and then that made us go to the backup set, the 305/45/17. 305/45/17 ET Street R. They're both ET Street Rs. None of them are pros. So when we put that on, we thought, yeah, we could, the prep is on point, and it has gone 7s in the past, but we always had to ramp in boost kind of on the slower side with the 305s. And sure enough, we go out there, and when it launched pretty good, but the right axle hub, the splined part that goes into the wheel bearing, exploded, just like sheared right off, which caused all the power to go to the left side of the wheel. It shuddered, it darted to the left, and it broke the transmission. All that shaking broke something in the transmission. We had no forward gears, we had only reverse. So then we had a spare. Actually, we were done. Me and Senior were like, all right, let's pack up, let's get the hell out of here, because who the hell has a spare 6R80? We do, but we had it back in Pennsylvania, and we ended up having Junior not convinced, he basically insisted, I'm coming down with a spare trans and we're fucking getting it. Okay, so he came down with a spare 4R200 equipped 6R80 that has all billet internals. I mean, there's nothing that isn't billet on this bitch. Put it on there, and then we go out there and find we actually ordered a spare set of 315s, put them on, and the car instantly wheelied, like instantly, for no reason. Nothing changed on the setup except the new trans. Instant wheelie, and when it came, all 4 tires off the ground, I mean, it's vertical, and then when it came down, it destroyed the 2 Viking struts. It broke right at the shaft, which we were lucky. It didn't bend the shock tower. It didn't do anything of the sort. It just bent the shafts, which blows my mind how strong the stuff is, how strong the stock spindles are, how strong the shock towers are, and the part that gave was the strut shock, the shaft itself. So the other thing I found out at World Cup events and just events in general, I think, is people don't understand what the fuck personal space is. They have no idea what personal space is. So we're trying to, Josh Hubble, by the way, Josh Hubble offered us his set of Steeda coilovers, and because his car was at the Vortec booth, and we're like, hell yeah. So I went over there, grabbed the keys, came over, boom, put it on, and people are just like in your face. They're just like, oh, what broke? Oh, they got their fucking phones like this. They're like, and you're just trying to put these shocks on, like, get the fuck out of my face. So Once that got settled, I got to give a shout out to Alexander. This dude is a customer of ours, and he wrenched more than me. That dude was on that shit, dude. He's a cop in Albany. He's out there wrenching. He's helping us out, dude. He hung out with us all weekend. Wasn't pushy. Wasn't weird. Super cool. Understood the time crunch we were at. We were good. So put the shocks back on because the other ones were shit, and went out there, ramped in way less boost. Like, we took out a lot of power during eliminations, and it wheelied again. There's nothing we could do about it. So wheelied again. Joe Martin, stop crying. That's racing in a public track. Yeah, that's why people put caution tape, ass face. That's why people put caution tape around their pit. So fuckers that are stupid as fuck and don't understand that people are trying to work don't get in the way. Just because it's a public track doesn't mean you can get in my shit, Joe. Fuck you, plain and simple. Get the fuck out of the way. Seriously, like, if I go to a track and I see someone working, I get way the fuck out of their way. But this guy's like, that's racing in a public track. Fuck your face. Fuck your face with that shit. Be considerate and don't get in people's shit when they have a time crunch and trying to change parts. Joe, fuck's wrong. See, that's what I mean, right? People like that think it's okay to, like, get up in your shit. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, bullshit. Sometimes they can help. No, one guy helped, and his name was Alexander. All the other people, Joe Martin, were in our fucking way the whole time. Some were fans and some were cool. Some stayed back and just looked. But the only one that helped, really helped, was Alex. Keith Rhea was next to us at the pit, and he was just the most helpful dude. It gave us tools, whatever. Just a great. I had never met him in person. He has a 6-second Cobra. I think it's the quickest, fastest 4-valve, I think, if you want to call it. I'm not 100%, but don't you dare tell me that it's okay for people to bump into your shit while you're trying to work. Fuck all that bullshit. I help. I don't care, Joe. I don't give a fuck that you help, Joe. And sometimes maybe we don't want your help because maybe you don't know how to wrench. I love you, but maybe you don't know how to wrench. So stay clear, get the fuck out of the way, and if they ask for your help, then help. Until then, stay the fuck out of their shit. Could you imagine if you go up and some guy with GTRs and you own a GTR and you're like, oh, give me something. Guy's like, get the fuck out of here. I got this. Yeah, exactly. He's not helping now. Exactly. But the funny thing about the event is this. There's a lot, obviously it's imports versus domestics. There's a huge huge import crowd. They kind of just go there to take a picture of everything that has a 2JZ on it, even if it's a hunk of shit. I think if you put a 2JZ on top of dog shit, people will say it's sick as fuck and put it on Instagram. But there were some very quick import cars. They're very, very quick. But most of them, the vast majority of them, we're basically, mom and pop shops going out there trying to race. And obviously, they have their limitations just like we have our limitations. A lot of those cars, front wheel drive, very sticky tracks. They were complaining that the track was sketchy later at night. We didn't experience that. We experienced nothing but beautiful, wonderful conditions the whole time. If anything, we had too much grip. So we had a hell of a time thrashing on the car, replacing the 6R80, replacing the hub, replacing everything, and still getting out there and still doing 2 wheelies. Now, there was a silver lining. Trust me, when the thing went up on the bumper, we all just went, holy shit, there it goes. And it came down fucking hard, but Senior was able to drive it back. He ended up, they were a little, heated. The guys were like, fuck, they were just mad about the whole thing because it looked really bad. But, I said to Junior, there's a silver lining to this. Everybody will remember the blue car, okay? Nobody remembers who won that race. Everybody will remember the blue car. Sure enough, we go to the pits and people are just like, holy shit, what the fuck's in this car? Oh my God, it was the only like street-looking S550 there. So, if you want to take a notice, mission accomplished. We knew we would, and it didn't have shit for the Street Fighter class. Those cars are 7.1, 7.2 cars, and even at a 760, if it was a clean pass, we'd have to have the pass of our life to run a 50 or a 40, high 40 to be in the mix. And we're still 2-3 tenths behind the average, So it was a big learning curve, and we know a lot. So now we're going to go Daryl says the blue car took a big fat L. Hey, Daryl, do you have a 7-second S550? Do you have a 7-second S550? You probably got a cold air fucking 14-second S550. Fuck out of here. Someone says Blue Goose had a plastic oil pan. No. Stock oil pan. Everything's stock in that thing. It didn't have a full interior, Israel. It had a race seat and no back seat, no passenger seat, but it still weighed 3,800 pounds. We actually went across the scales, and I have video of it going across the scale, him getting the time slip. And at the scale, it says 3,800 pounds right then and there. So that's something that if people, twin turbo S150, that'll gap you. No, it won't. Trust me, it won't. It won't gap me. I'll give you the fair mod. You know what? Come to Mod Nats. Come to Mod Nats, Daryl. And I'll give you a little bit of the supercharger on the Fairmont. And we'll go. We'll party. We'll fucking party. And don't say no, you're not going to make it, motherfucker. Get to Mod Nats, Daryl, and go up against the Fairmont. I haven't even tested on that bitch yet. And I'll bet you that shit will gap you left and right. Oh, but I got AC. I love it how guys talk all that shit, and then when you get to their face, they're like, "Oh, well, I don't have my tires ready. Oh, my suspension." Martin says, "Alex, did you see Xander blow up his motor 30 minutes after turbo install?" I heard some stuff about it, like some rumblings that he put a turbo kit on the car, and I guess the tune allowed him to go to 8,000 RPMs right off the rip, which kind of surprised me, but I'm not blaming the tune for it. I bet you that, there was something unforeseen. Now, the other thing that I heard him saying that he plumbed the wastegates in backwards. Well, that doesn't make sense, right? Because if you plumb them in backwards, doesn't that mean that you don't see any boost? Like any boost, no boost at all, right? So you're like, okay, because if the wastegates are backwards and they're always they're always open, does that mean you don't see any boost? And what springs are in it? Did you have like 28-pound springs? You probably had 7-pound springs. So it was just, interesting. And he blew it up, and that sucks. And I would never want anyone to blow up their shit. But it's a common trend with Mustang YouTubers, isn't it? Supposedly the dude, it's just a 6. I don't know his name. I don't care to know his name. He seems like a nice guy. He ended up blowing up his black car, then got a quote-unquote built motor. That ended up being, I think, a dud, or he had cam timing issues. Then his GT350 supposedly was already blown up when he got it. And then this other guy, unfortunately, had an engine issue. And dude, that sucks. That really sucks. So I it sucks, but I'm also not surprised, right? If I have a failure, an engine failure, I am not going to use it. I'm not saying they're doing this. I'm just saying what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't use it for popularity or likes. I blew up my shit. No. I mean, if I blow up my shit, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, especially if it's something you caused. So I don't know if you'll get the likes. You'll get the views. Trust me, you'll get the views. You'll get the likes. I get that. But there's a point of pride and a point where you, I think, say, maybe I don't want to look like a fucking idiot and tell people I did shit backwards or something. It was just weird. Just Matt said, we were sitting in the stands all excited. It was nice wheelie. However, it was the only day we could go, and we were just hoping to see a clean run. Yeah, man, the only clean runs were Wednesday. 8.0, 767 during testing. Once the trans broke, it just became a wheelie machine with the new trans. I don't know if the clutches are tighter, the converter's locked, the converter is slipping less maybe and applying too quick. Then it ruined the suspension. Trust me, we were very frustrated that we did not make a clean pass because that thing was flying. Let me get the paid questions real quick. Okay. Root Beer says, "Hey, Bicho, I was at the road course on the weekend, and the guy supercharged 800 horsepower was having traction problems. Other than a pulley swap, what other options are there? Pulling timing, exhaust cam overlap at 800 horsepower? Why is he on a road course at 800 horsepower? Don't like the C7Rs make like 600, like 500? Honestly, I don't think you need anything that much higher than, 500 wheel, 550 wheel on a road course car, because that is a blazingly fast car, unless it's like some badass Porsche or something, or a Lambo. But on a Mustang, anything above 550, just work on the suspension and work on the driver's skill. 800 rear wheel horsepower on a road course, so he's going to get 1 or 2 clean laps, and then IATs go through the roof, whether it's centrifugal, turbo, or blower, PD blower. IAT is going to be the problem. RS3 for me said, did you see the reveal of SEMA of the new Roush car? No, I did see, though, something that I was very, very, very happy to see was the electric Mustang. That's right. All that shit. Look, I'm telling you, people are gonna change their mind once they drive something like that. A electric. Now, it's all hearsay. It's all it makes nine, 1,000 or 900 and 1,000 or 1,900, whichever way they divvy it up. But Root Beer says, but that doesn't tell me how to pull power out of it. Guess what? You pulley way the fuck up. It's real simple. If you're making 800 wheel, Root Beer, you pulley way the fuck up. Way the fuck up. If you got a big stupid blower making 800, guess what? Pulley to make about 600. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Change the pulley. It's not. It's actually really, 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 really simple. So anyway, back on the electric Mustang. We're off that other bullshit. Any electric vehicle, if you've driven in a Tesla P100D, if you've driven anything electric, it is instant power. But the funny thing about this car, it is mated to a Ben Calamer Stage 3 transmission. Yes, supposedly I heard that Ben Calamer provided a Stage 3 transmission into this car, and it's a conventional 6-speed. I cannot imagine what that feels like if you have 900 foot-pounds plus, or pound-feet of torque, whichever way you want to say it. Instant. Boom. Now, there has to be some kind of ramping technique, some kind of variable frequency drive that does not allow you to give you all the shit all the time, because it would be literally uncontrollable. Have you guys ever owned a RC car? An RC car with like 8S or 6S or 8S. For those of you that know, you know. I'm not going to explain what the fuck I'm saying. 8S LiPo batteries with a Black Mamba brushless motor. That thing, you can be going 50 and goose it, and it will wheelie and backflip. It is just instant, stupid, retarded torque. So there has to be, and that made Traxxas had to come out with a stability system, because some of these cars were just so fucking wild that they were just flipping and they're not fun to drive anymore. So they came out with a stability system. So like RC cars, if you get a Traxxas Max now, like a $800 $900 Traxxas Max 8S, and you just go party with it, ready to run, that thing is a wild, badass ride and super robust. So the electric market, I think there's a huge potential market to get in there. Now, the knuckle dragging dinosaurs are still out there saying the dumb shit, G-Unit Silk City says, Alex, you like RC? Oh my God, come to my Savage Flux. You do it. I love Savage. I used to have a Traxxas T-Max 0.18, and then the big block, and then I never got into the Revos and the electric stuff because it is addicting. I have to stop that shit. I'll just work with bigger cars. But, okay, someone's asking about the Bronco. I have my thoughts about all this shit. Back on electric. They have to have a way of taming down the power or ramping it in so it feels linear. There has to be a way. They cannot give you a Mustang. That electric motor will rip any transmission apart. And imagine what the clutch is going to go through. The clutch is going to be the fuse. So imagine the clutch trying to transfer power from an electric motor making 1,000 wheel or 1,000 pound-feet of torque like that to try to transfer to the rear wheel. It would blaze the tires and kill the clutch. So there has to be a way of ramping the power in, some kind of button, some kind of ludicrous mode similar to the Teslas. I think it's great. I think it is great. It's a great thing. And that's the biggest news, in my opinion, to come out of Ford. I don't give a shit about what Roush is doing. I don't give a shit about the Bronco R. I don't give a shit about any of that shit. Now, if Ford is really smart, they would use hybrid technology and use that setup in a conventional, you still got to have a motor because you want to be able to just go across the country, not worry about charging the shit, but be able to have 200 to 300 foot-pounds of torque or pound-feet of torque at the flick of a button. Fuck yes. Demonic 50 paid and said, smoked my RST first pass after break-in, making high 800s. Why the hell do you have a RST with a high 800 real horsepower car? On a Paxton car, have a chance to grab a fairly new Mantic 9000. Would you consider buying a wearable part like a clutch off of an N8 2013? So if you call Jeff Gurko at Mantic, I think you can get the discs for fairly cheap, like very cheap. So call Mantic USA. He's out of, I think, the Carolinas. And I think you can buy, because it's a rebuildable clutch. Matter of fact, you can probably send it back to him and say, hey, refurbish this guy, and it's going to be way cheaper. So if you get a good deal on it, Demonic 50, a good deal on a clutch, which I think that's the clutch that should be on the electric Mustang. I hope it has a triple mantic because that thing is going to grab and it's going to be some dumb shit. I cannot imagine what an electric motor with a MT82 from Ben Calmer feels like to drive around. Roll racing, all this shit. It would be evil, evil, evil. Just cool acceleration. The problem is going to be putting it to the ground, like putting it to the ground. If you keep the IRS, you're going to rip axles. You're going to rip the wheel bearings. We ripped the wheel bearings too off of the Blue Goose when we fucked up that axle. So wheel bearings, everything has to be super robust back there because when it comes to, excuse me, when it comes to electric motors and torque, they're evil on drivetrain parts, especially if they're not regulated well. Sorry. R. Gibbs says, contribution to the knuckle dragging dinosaurs. Exactly. So I heard, oh God, people are so stupid, man. People are so stupid. I think people are afraid of change, obviously. Like, what's his name? Elon Musk said it fucking beautifully. He said, I'm sure when cars started coming out, automobiles started coming out, horseless carriages. There were horseless carriages, aka cars, on the road at the same time that, horse-drawn carriages were around. And the people were like, fuck that. I want to be behind a horse that farts and shit in my mouth all the time because it's reliable. Fuck this voodoo magic that you just kind of get in it, turn a key or crank it in the front and get going and get gas in it. It'll explode under your seat. I want, Betty and Boppy, my horses, to shit on my face as I'm going to get groceries. So now what's happening? Guys are saying almost same shit. They're saying some shit like, I love to get 9 miles a gallon in my twin turbo. Hey, where is that guy though? Did he accept my call out or no? Hey, get over here, motherfucker. I'm not going to let it go. You better show up to Mod Nats with all that bullshit. So anyway, people are saying the same thing about electric cars. Oh, what if I get into an accident and I get electrocuted? You have 20 gallons of gasoline behind you at all times. You have batteries, alternators, you have everything. You have volatile shit already. So basically people are saying stuff like, well, what about if I need to go, what about if I need to drive to California? How many times are you driving to California? Like how many times right now, you that lives in Oklahoma or KC or any podunk place that doesn't have like a Whataburger or a Five Guys, and you gotta, I don't even know how the hell you guys live in places like that. I gotta have a Five Guys and some badass taco joints or something. So anyway, you guys that live there, I want to head to California. Well, I want to head to California real quick, and I don't think a Tesla's gonna be good enough to take me over to California for some internet. So there are supercharger charging stations, meaning if you have a Tesla, you can actually map your trip around these supercharger stations, and they're becoming super common. Now, I understand what you're saying. Oh my God, I prefer gas stations. I get it. I am a big proponent of hybrid technology, not meaning a 4-cylinder and an electric. No, I want a V8, and I want that motor also giving me, being charged by the brakes, being charged by anything, any kind of motion, charging everything so that I can have, power at the fucking flick of a switch. And fuck you, if I come across some guy, I could be on pump gas making, 650 wheel if it's supercharged, and then at the flick of a button, gap your shit with my other 200 horse or 200 foot-pounds of torque or pound-feet with an electric motor. That's how I want. That's how I want hybrid technology to work. I don't want it to be efficient. I want it to be fast. That's the thing. And an electric motor can be freaking fast. Trust me, it's going to be crazy. People keep saying, well, I can't believe. Yeah, exactly, Riley Newfield. Some dinosaur said, oh, I can't believe you're going to miss the Rumble. Oh, yeah, I'm going to miss Corsa Extremes. I can't wait to fucking knock the shit, dumb, stupid exhaust companies out the face of the earth with their dumb fucking exhaust. A stock exhaust with some headers sounds just right. Everyone in their Borsars shit fucking Extremes, pipe bombs. Are they even still in business? Are pipe bombs still in business? I don't know. Anyway, it blows my mind that people are still being like this. And when McLaren has hybrid technology, Porsche has a full electric car. Porsche has a full electric car, which there's already controversy with that, so the controversy with Porsche and Tesla started the other day where someone said Riley has cherry bomb. Yeah. Could you imagine? Mustang Week would cease to exist. Thank God if exhaust went away. It'd just be fast cars that are quiet. Peace and quiet. What the hell would they do? Just have like noisemakers? Like, remember the South Park episode where the Harley guys came into South Park and they were we're freaking people out, and they're constantly revving their engines. And then they need to be noticed so much that even in the bathroom when they're taking a piss, they look over to the guy and they're like, just like, look at me, we're freaking people out. That's the kind of person that likes to ride out in first gear in a parking lot. You ever see that guy that's in going 4,000 RPMs in a parking lot just because he wants to hear his blow off valve from his Vortec just whoosh like crazy? My God, we need to get rid of all them knuckle dragger fucking dinosaurs that do dumb shit that make Mustang owners look like ass. I get it. I have a Paxton car. A Vortec car. I drive it and I go, okay, it whooshes. Do I leave it in first gear so it whooshes like crazy? Fuck no. I want to be not noticed. I want to be quiet. I want to just tool around the parking lot. You motherfuckers drive 7,000 RPMs in first gear just so you can hear that whooshing. Unbelievable. Power by the Minute says, haha, I do that. Of course you do that. You're like, whoosh, cool. Whoosh. I love it. So the controversy between Porsche and Tesla. Supposedly, I don't know, one of the magazines out there raced the, let me look it up real quick so I can stop talking out of my ass. Let me see. Porsche electric vehicle. I think it's called, what the hell is it called? Taycan. Tayca, a Taycan or Taycan. It's a good looking car. That's a real good looking car. Look at this shit. Let me see if you can look at my desktop. That's a good looking ride, man. Look at that. You wouldn't want that shit in your garage? Fuck, that shit's hot. Hot as fuck. Look at that shit. Hot. So they went up against the Tesla in a drag race, and I guess the Porsche ran like a 1080 or 1060, and the Tesla model, that model is also one of those that absolutely runs that number, but Tesla is claiming that the test was bullshit because it wasn't in super duper ludicrous mode. If you go to Drag Times on YouTube, this guy explains it really well. He's a local guy. He does a lot of exotic car races and stuff. He's great. He explains it exactly all that shit. Oh my God, Alex took to get all the bitches tuned out of his computer. My computer's clean. This is the work computer. I don't got any of my personal shit on here. I don't even have a personal computer anymore. Miguel Buenostra says 17 GT installed the cold air intake tune. Now the knock tester is showing 3 to 7 at 25% watt. 25% watt? So you mean 25%? 25% 2 watt. Okay, I'm sorry. I checked for false knock and pump different station. No luck. Any suggestions for what to do next? If you install the different cold air intake, make sure that the cold air intake mass airflow sensor is not touching. Sometimes the shield makes the sensor rest on it, and that vibration can, I'm not saying does or will, can cause false knock. It's crazy how it works. But especially, you shouldn't be getting 3 to 7 degrees being pulled out of timing with an NA car. It's almost unheard of. I understand 2 if it's shitty gas, but 7 at wide open throttle. And are you saying wide open throttle low RPM or wide open throttle high RPM? That's the other thing. But check your mass airflow sensor. Make sure it's clear of anything that's touching or hitting or anything. You should be good. Tyler Lubart says, what will Lund Racing do when it's all electric? We'll tune them too. Dude, Tyler, you got to understand, the business is not going to go away because the industry changes. Okay, so what do you do? Right? You find a way of hacking your way into the software. So if your car does not have ludicrous mode or some kind of high-end mode or overclocking the processor or some bullshit or getting a higher capacity variable frequency drive, or it's firmware, it's software, it trusts me, where there's a will, there's a way. If Ford starts coming out with electric Mustang, you best believe we're going to buy one. We're going to buy one. We're going to R&D it. We're going to see how to make it faster, make parts for it. If we can make it faster via programming, we will do that too. That's how it works. I am excited to do that. Now, gas cars are not going to go away, ever. They're not going to go away. But they're going to become less and less if battery cell technology really advances, which Elon Musk has this huge super fucking factory that all they do is make batteries and motors somewhere in Vegas, I think. So if it becomes cheap, reliable, easily replaceable, you can tune it. Look, I used to work at a dock, and we had electric forklifts, and there were ways of, taking the governors out of them. Trust me, if you get in there and understand how everything works, you can take the governor out of them and fly through the dock. Sure, you waste a battery, but you get your job done a lot easier. So I just think it's just skinning a different cat. We're just going to learn how it works, understand it, decompile it, and tune it, and then say, we have a firmware update for your electric Mustang, and this allows you to blaze the tires and whatever, and then, shit's going to break, you're going to buy it, we're going to upsell it. There's a business in anything. Trust me, it's not going to be a problem. Kevin Gonzalez says, why does the Gen 3 have so many problems? I don't think I don't think that the Gen 3 has that many problems. I remember Gen 1 had number 8 cylinder issues left and right. Then what I like to call the Gen 1.5, the 1314 engine. The 1314 engine is stronger, period. It's stronger. And that was a very nice refined Gen 1. And if you're ever going to buy a Mustang and you want to make decent power with it reliably, you buy a 1314 Mustang, plain and simple. I like the the 11 to 12, because I like the nose better. I just think it looks cooler, in my opinion. The other one's a little shiny. I'm not a flashy guy, obviously. I'm just a fucking schlub. So if anything is like pretty, I shy away from it. Cars, anyway. So Gen 2, robust, awesome, but it had ticking issues. Remember, early on, people had ticking issues. That kind of just went away. And Gen 3 had ticking issues, but guys are out there making 800, 900, 1,000 with a stock motor again. So I don't think it has any more issues than any other Coyote ever had. Alex, is it possible to do a doggy style in an S550's back seat? So the problem with the S550's back seat, like all the way forward, and you rest your back on it, right? So think of it, the seat's like this, and the girl, it also depends how big your girl is. If you got a big girl, big bone girl, tall, big, and it's gonna be tough because she's gonna be looking at the speakers and the back window, unless she can go through the side and you can sling it from the side with one leg up. That's tough. That's a tough one, but where there's a will, there's a way. That's great. So there's a waiver in California, and you got to state your car's off-road use only Android. Oh, people are asking if Lund Racing tunes in California. We do have a waiver. You have to sign it and make sure that there's a record of it, because that's the world we live in. Plain and simple. M-O-H-M-A-D. I think it's Mohammed or Momad. Yo, Alex, what's the best modes? Basic for GT500 2014. What is the best modes? Basic for GT5. I don't know what you mean by modes. Sorry, I don't understand it. Cheap, reliable, and fast. You only get 2 of them. You pick. Reliable and fast. You only get 2? You only get 2? Well, that's actually good. I would do reliable and fast, because cheap takes away the other 2. Cheap takes away reliable. Cheap takes away fast. Like an LS. An LS is cheap, but it's not reliable. But it's fast for a while, and then it blows up. So I'd rather reliable and fast than cheap. Life and easy when you're big and greasy. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're a big dude and you have a Mustang already, you're picking the wrong car. Get a Charger or a Challenger. Those are big cars. You can 69 in those things. I've heard. Can't talk too much to this. People listening to that might be offended. Thoughts on the Dragon Snake? The Dragon Snake. So what's the Dragon Snake? I guess Shelby, America. They put a fucking stupid snake on the side of a new GT500, and I think it's like a drag package, I think. And they call it the Dragon Snake, and it looks like the dumbest, stupidest snake on the planet. It is perfect for the person that is going to buy a Super Snake. You got to understand, guys, Super Snake owners are not racers. Look, I'm barely a racer. Super Snake owners are not racers. Plain and simple. They want to go to the car show, clean their car off, and say, look at my shit. I made it. I made it. And it's like buying a Hot Wheels. Look, men or kids, plain and simple. If you can afford it, you would have every car as if you were a child with your Hot Wheels collection. Remember when you had your Hot Wheels collection and you had this dumb, fiery car with a big blower sticking out the hood and big tires in the back? Remember that? Or if you were the kind that liked the VW Bug, the VW buses, or just the dumb hot rod dragster looking thing, or the smooth, sleek, fast car you can go down one of the tracks, you would own all of it. Why? Because you can. So when you grow up, your taste doesn't change. You see this dumb, stupid snake. Look, I'm not a Shelby guy. I'm not a Shelby guy at all. So when I see a big dumb snake on the side of something, I laugh. I laugh just like when I see a demon or a Hellcat on the side of a Charger or Challenger or what have you. So I'm laughing at that, but it's perfect for their demographic because guess what? Some guy's going to buy that, put it away, and 30 or 40 years from now, you're going to be like, that car was actually pretty sick because they made two of them because they were so ugly. But trust me, it's perfect for them. Look, have you guys seen the Shelby Truck? Like the Shelby Truck is ugly. It looks like shit. It looks like some dude just built it. He just throw ground effects on it, throw a hood on it, throw wheels on it. The Celine Truck, I think, looks better, but Shelby is playing to their core audience, which is overbuilt, dumb shit, wide body, dual caliper rear, 20 by 12 tire, just overkill. That's their key audience. That's what they want. They're giving you what they want. When I saw the 1314 GT500 that had stripes on the bottom, stripes on the top, stripes on the seat, I said, this is the ugliest piece of shit on the planet. But guess what? It sold pretty well because Shelby guys were like, oh, whoa, stripes, red and white GT500s looking like a candy cane going down the road. Stupid. Shelby LSX LOL Boost says, just like my other RC hobby with 3D helicopters, electrics making 10 to 15 horsepower in a 12-pound model versus 3.7 in a fuel-powered nitro model. Can't compare. Exactly. When you understand what an electric motor can do, properly fed with the right electricity and properly regulated, nothing, guys, nothing compares with acceleration. Nothing you can think of will compare to what an electric motor powered vehicle can do if it's properly regulated and has enough juice. And if it can put it down to the ground like an all-wheel drive stupid ass fucking roadster like the Tesla Roadster that supposedly runs 8s, it's gonna be dumb as shit. Someone said something about 1,000 horsepower. 17 GT, what's needed for a flex wheel tune? Just a tune, that's it. If you have an aftermarket manifold like an 18 manifold, GT350 manifold or Boss intake or CJ, you're going to need injectors. But if it's stock, just the tune. Boy, you guys asked a lot of questions real quick. Pat the One says, Alex, thoughts on the 1,000 horsepower, 1,000 torque lithium S550? I literally just talked about that. So just wait till the show's over or go back. Or I don't know if this thing lets you go back or whatever, but I literally talked about it. I think it is great. It is a great idea. Ford didn't build it. Someone built it for Ford. It is a very good idea. I'd love to see it on the dyno to see if it actually makes a number. I'd love to drive it to see if it's a linear power curve or is it just an on-off switch and it just blazes the tires and it's uncontrollable, because that's not going to sell well. It's got to be controllable. It's got to drive like a regular car. And then at the flip of a switch, it's got to have all the nut. Momad says, I meant mods, sorry, for a GT500. Mods for GT500 1314, you get an upper pulley, 2.4. You get a cold air intake of your choice. Headers, if you can swing it. And that right there should make you 680 or so. 660, 670, 680 to the wheel. Then if you want to get header, I already said that. If you want to get bigger injectors and twin booster pumps, you can go 85 in it and party. Vinny's Customs. John Lund told me to go to Ford, but Lund claims to be helpful to loyal customers and not be that guy, yet I was told how to Ford. I guess I don't know the backstory. That sounds like a very vague story, and I'd rather you give us the backstory if there is such a thing, because some people just pop off on some dumb shit, and then you look at the ticket, like you actually look at the ticket. We literally had a guy not too long ago complain that his tune sucks. So what did he do? He went out there. He had a stock cold air intake, 18 or 19 car, had a flex tune, was driving it. Everything was fine. And in the middle of it, I think he changed cold air intakes. And I don't know if he just thinks it's a cold air intake and he could just bolt it on and go. No, you got to start from scratch with the flex tune and make sure we dial that bitch in and make sure it's good. And maybe he didn't want to do that. So he was like, he goes on the internet, says, Lund tune sucks. Lund tune sucks. Look at, I put this intake in, Lund tune sucks. Right, because you didn't tell us that you changed intakes and you already were tuned on the stock cold air. When you change, the most crucial fucking thing on a newer Mustang is the motherfucking cold air intake. So do not change it unless you have a tune for it first. Motherfucker. Kevin Gonzalez says, Alex, but you got to understand that a supercharged 5.0 weighs like 4,000 and a GT500 weighs like 4,200 with oil coolers. Okay, well, I understand that. A Coyote, look, I'm a Coyote guy. I'm not a big GT500 fan. I like Coyote Mustangs, but the GT500 is supercharged, okay? So I know you say a supercharged 5.0 weighs like 4,000 and a GT500 weighs like 4,200. I don't think any GT500 weighs like 4,200, especially an S197. They still weigh like 38, 39. An S550 is going to be in the 4,000 range real fast. Trust me. Vinny's Custom says, don't get me wrong, I love you guys. I just feel that since John was out busy, he didn't feel like helping a brother out when it was a fan issue. Simple question, though. All good, not mad anymore. If you had a fan issue, how is that a tune issue? You know, I love you, Vinny's Customs, but if it is a hardware issue, not a tune issue, we can't help you. We cannot help you. I can't say, oh, your fan relay's bad. Well, here's a tune update, and it'll resolder your. I understand what you're saying, but you gotta understand, if it's not tune related, I can't literally fix your shit. Period. We can fix it if it's a tune issue because we are tuners. You think a 2012 GT500 is worth it now? 2019 for 32,500. It's getting tough. It's getting tough. My 11 to 12. My 19 Mustang when it was on E85 was badass. It was a nice, evil little car. And now with a blower, make 670 wheel without the intake. Oof, it's tough to beat that in a nice, modern, tight car. If you drive a GT500 now, it's starting to show its age a little bit. Robert Goodman says, what happened to Xander 13 E18 GT 9-pound with wastegate on 7-pound kaboom? Oh, so it had 9 plus 7, so it had 16 pounds of boost. Jeez. But okay, this is what Lund Racing does. Anytime you have a supercharged vehicle or nitrous, we limit your RPM. We limit your RPM to 5,000 RPM. And I say idle, slow rev, watt to 5,000. That means you can't hurt shit. You can't hurt shit. And then we see it, and then I would just say, dude, how much boost does this have? You know, it's showing 15 pounds of boost or 2.1 load or 2.0 load or 1.9 load. And you'd be like, oh, and then you'd look for the problem. But if you get a tune that's unlimited and can go to 8,000 and you can make all that boost, especially on a turbo car, we limit our tune for that reason. Just saying. Not blaming anyone. Just saying. We limit our tune for that reason. Jason Wood says, thanks again for all the help with my 2019 auto car. Running great. Loving the tune. Lund Racing for the win. Awesome. Glad you're happy. That's the best part of the job, honestly. When, actually, Dakota had a customer today that was getting dicked around by a, I know I missed a paid question. Relax, SVT Vince. I can't just stop what I'm saying when I'm on a fucking roll and just stop and, let me get on the roll, bro. I'll go back and get the questions. Relax. If someone pays me, there is no time limit as to when you can get, when I have to answer the question. Hell, just because of that, I'm not going to answer the question. Fuck it. I'll answer the question. Where was I? Okay, so Dakota had a guy who said, dude, I was dicked around for 13 tunes by another tuning company, and you guys fixed it at 2 tunes. And it's just because of communication, like really good communication. So that's what makes this part of the job really good. Alex, how to get auto sensors to go green with your emissions tune? We don't have an emissions tune, okay? It's not a tune that like magically makes the car pass emissions. We turn on all of your shit to make sure it's good. If you have all of your emissions equipment installed, it should pass. That's all. All right, let me start getting some of the paid questions so you guys can shut up. 17 GT was needed for Flex 2, and I already said that. I heard the new Dragon State requires a Ligma insurance. If that's a joke, Steven Brazell, I don't get it. I don't know what Ligma insurance is. Maybe that's an inside joke that I don't understand, but I don't know what that is. T. Heltzer says, Alex, thank you for all the great information and commentary. To dedicated E85 tune have any benefit over a Lund Flex tune, which is better? So, T. Heltzer, the E85 dedicated tune will make more power average, meaning throughout the whole RPM range, it will make more power because we forced the timing into it. The flex fuel, depending on the ethanol content, will adjust the tune to make timing, it adjusts the timing in the tune. Peak, meaning peak, the top of the RPM, they might see the same timing. The flex tune might see 30, 31. The E85 tune might see 30, 31, but the E85 tune will see that timing sooner, meaning it will be faster and perform better at the track. But on the dyno, both might make the same peak number, but the E85 dedicated tune will make more average. Alex, but you got to understand that a supercharged 5.0 weighs like 4,000 and a GT500 weighs like 4,200 oil coolers, etc. Kevin, I already answered that. But Kevin, it doesn't matter. The torque alone that the GT500 makes, especially 13, 14, makes it a lot of fun. Makes a lot of fun. But I don't know what your argument is. Is your argument that the GT500 is heavier? Because again, an S197 GT500 is not 4,200 pounds. It's just not. The new one, yes. The new one is fucking heavy as fuck. And I made fun of it and it is fat and stupid. Yeah, it still runs 10.6. We'll see what happens when you get those production units. I have a contact at Ford or that works closely with a Ford or contractor, and he gives me a ton of insider information. And he said, hey, if you know anyone trying to buy a GT500, tell them to hold off because they're popping engines left and right. And I'm like, well, I don't think that's right. They're all pre-production. I'm sure they're ringing them out to see what the deal is. The only thing I could think that might make the new GT500 pop an engine is keeping the cat alive, keeping the catalytic converter from melting, because a TVS powered 5.2 pushing a 4,200 pound car is going to get hot. It's going to get hot. And guess what? The catalytic converters don't like a lot of heat. And guess what pops with a lot of heat if you can't cool them fast enough? The cats. And then it pop up, it's just a fucking, it's just, what do you call it? Domino effect. Cats go, Ringlands go, pops an engine, bye-bye. Christian Sotelo says, Magnuson TVS 2300, what's your opinion, brother? Just bought a 13 Boss 302 with one. Your thoughts? The Magnuson 2300, I think, had a very thin belt, like a 4-rib, very small one. But it's still a 2.3 TVS, no different than a Roush, no different than anything. I don't know if that generation Magnuson had a modular snout, so you can put a bigger throttle body on it. If it does not, that's going to be the biggest limitation. And pulley size. I don't think you can get a real small pulley in there without it slipping. But if you can get 10 PSI out of it, it'll make 650, because that's what every 600 something, every 2.3 equipped everything at 10 PSI pump gas makes 600 something. Doesn't matter if it's a Magnuson case or anything. Slash Dash says, question, I'm torn between an 0304 Cobra. Okay, I'm not even going to read the rest. Anything but the Cobra. Anything but the Cobra. I figured he ran high 10s. West Dabo company behind the electric Mustang at SEMA also makes the S550 convertible tops. Okay, very cool. Emissions requirements destroy high horsepower cars. Absolutely right. Stephen Brazell. Scott Cooper, no E85 in my area. Thoughts on water meth for protection running over 12 pounds of boost, which is probably max on 93. How do you tune for it? Well, Scott, I don't like removing fuel to account for the meth that you're shoving in it down its throat. I like just you moderating the meth properly so that it is a slight cooling effect and an octane adder, basically. But I am not going to lean out the tune in the event that you run out of meth. And I leaned out the tune because you had meth going in, and now the car's really lean. Let's say if you're in the middle of a highway race and you forgot to fill up your meth and your watt, wide open throttle, and I leaned out the tune to account for the meth, or did some changes to have it see less fuel because of the meth, and then you run out of meth, and then you're fucking watt, and you go lean. Yeah, no. I'd rather you moderate the meth yourself, and I don't touch anything on the tune. You just use it as a additive, for lack of a better word. Mike with the Yodi, running low 10s with his NA manual. Who's running 10s with an NA manual? I mean, I don't doubt it. My Lund tuned big centrifugal S197 is about to hit the dyno next week. 12 12 compression, ported heads, cams, 24 psi of boost, manual trans, 85 is 1200 horsepower possible. I think you need more boost. Well, Lance Rainey just made 1300 today, but that's a twin turbo car. 12-1 compression, ported heads, cams. It could be close. Yeah. I mean, Diddy LX50, it could be close. I mean, big centrifugal. Do you mean like a Pro Charger? You go F1 or a Vortec YSI or something like that? because that'll make the jam. That'll make the jam. As long as you keep the air cool. You got to understand, big blower, and the big blower will still make heat. Trust me, an F1 Pro Charger, a Vortec YSI, if you pull it to death at that, you're going to make a lot of heat. So you got to make sure you cool that sucker, and you might need an ice tank. Trust me, like air to water, or like the best air to air on the planet. So yeah, just be mindful of the IATs, because once you excite, air molecules, they still get hot no matter what. That's why a lot of people sometimes pull it down and they go, how come I didn't make any more power? Because your IATs went up 40 degrees. Danny Gutierrez says, I love your face. I am good looking. I'm pretty good looking. I mean, I got a great smile. People like my mouth. They keep staring at my mouth. When I smile, sometimes I look in the camera, I go, dang, he's a good looking guy. Look at that motherfucker. Mike barely cracked 10s at Famoso. I don't know who that is. Can I request you to tune? You can, Devin Felix, but I don't know. Brandon, Dakota, Junior, and me, we all use the same tunes. I don't. The reason I discourage people from requesting me is because I love you guys. I love my fans. I love the people that listen. I'm not going to become your friend on the ticket. I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to treat it as a job. I'm very professional. I go, hey, brother, get me a log. Get me this. Okay, sweet. You're done. Have a good one. And then they're like, yeah, cool. I gapped the guy. And then they start talking about their life. And I'm like, all right, cool story. You're done. If you have any other needs or questions, let me know. Okay, bro, what do you think about this? I'm like, okay, it's a setup question. And they're like, yeah, my wife, I'm always fucking bitch. She ended up fucking leaving me and she's fucking the mailman. I was like, what do you think? What do you think I should do, man? You think I should fuck her sister? And I'm like, I can't do this. Exactly. Submit as closed and bye-bye. Alex looks like a hairy elbow. I don't know. Then that's a good looking hairy elbow. I'm gonna pull up your face. Let me see. I wish I could see like people's faces in the profiles that talk shit. About how much does it cost to replicate your 19 setup? All I want is 600 wheel horsepower to start with my 1350. So my 19 setup is a bone stock car with a Vortec supercharger V3. So if you call Beefcake and say, hey, price me up a Vortec V3 base kit with a 3.6 pulley, I would start with a 3.8 pulley, because the Gen 1s don't really love a lot of boost. The Gen 3s are a little more robust, and this thing only saw 14 degrees of timing, so it has more left in it. That's the other thing I heard at World Cup. Oh my God. Every single time somebody told me how their car ran, they said the same shit all the time. They're like, yeah, he went down the track. He let off at the 1,000-foot mark. Has a ton more left in it. Then the next guy, oh my God, this thing ran a 70, and I opened the parachute at the 660, and then I hit the brakes, I stopped, got gas, went to Chick-fil-A, and it still ran a 770, bitch. It's got so much left in it. I'm like, wow. No one ever does a clean pass, apparently. No one ever does a full effort clean pass and go down the track and go, this bitch is maxed out. That's the fastest it's going to go. Actually, the Camaro we raced, when the first round of eliminations, he was honest. He actually said, yeah, this thing's maxed out. This is it. We're out. This thing won't make any more boost. And we're like, what's it run? He's like 7.1. And we're like, wow, you don't think you'll get it in the 6? And he's like, you know how much it takes to get a 10th and a half at this power level? I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like a couple hundred more horse, maybe more. He's like, exactly. He was honest. He was like, yep, this thing will run a 10. Everyone else could run a 5 because it has so much left in it. Yeah, he let off at the 1,000-foot mark, opened the parachutes, got out, tied his shoes, got back in it, still ran a 70. Fuck out of here. Loose lug nuts. Track shit, it's all knock, bad plugs, old gas. Exactly. That's great. I noticed more Sentry than PD blowers in the V8 cars at WCFY. So what you started seeing, and I started understanding, is the bigger centrifugals, the bigger centrifugals that bolt onto the crank are actually pretty beneficial because the power curve is linear. PD blowers go whoop and make the power. They go up, make the power. Centrifugals go whoop, and I think it's a little easier the power management is a little easier, and it's favorable. The higher you rev it, the more power it makes. The lower you rev it, the less power it makes. So when you launch, you can dictate where to leave at what RPM, and it's good. A PD blower is going to make all the shit now, so you have to regulate it by, stator, torque converter, power management, timing, ass, balls, everything. You have to kind of, I think, this is my suspicion, that a centrifugal is a little easier to manage the power than on a PD car. Why would you go to World Cup and not run all out, Jay Rubin? I don't get it. But everyone's like, yeah, you let off at the 1,000-foot mark. Why'd you let off at the 1,000-foot mark? Why? Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand letting. I get it if it's a race. But if you're trying to qualify, why don't you just go all out? Was the car squirrely? Okay, I get it. Car squirrely. But I see some of these runs and they're straight. And you hear the car. It is through the traps at wide open throttle. And then you come back, hey, how'd the car run? Pretty good. Got off at the 1,000-foot mark, though. Pulled the chute a little early. I pulled the chute at the 1,000-foot mark and it slowed me down. I'm like, actually, no. If you pull it at the 1,000-foot mark, it unfurls right about at the 1,300. Cars running fives must be Yellow Bullet members. There were some fast cars. There was some fast cars. Very, very quick stuff. Cool to see. A lot of cars in the low sevens, high sixes, mid sixes was pretty normal to see. It was really cool. It was a badass event. I'd been to it once before, but I'd never competed in it. We wanted to dip our toe in the water with the Blue Goose and see what it takes. And it takes a high 6-second car to be, a low 7-second car to be competitive in the Street Fighter class. Congratulations to Jake Conant. Took a GT500 out there, won $10,000. Badass shit. He used to own or still owns a Cobra. He's more known for his Cobra, but had a GT500 out there with a centrifugal. I think it had a Pro Charger, and it was just running 7.1. Very, very impressive. So maybe, and I did kind of mention that. I said, man, maybe a centrifugal mounted on the crank, a big centrifugal with an air-to-water for a full race application might be pretty favorable. Can we get a Coyote-powered hybrid all-wheel drive Mustang and manual transmission? Please. Exactly, Alexander Cadell. Exactly. That's what people don't understand. They don't understand where I'm coming from. They think that the Mustang should always be a big block, 3 mile a gallon, 500 NA, 600 NA, get shitty gas mileage. Dude, you will be out of business. Nobody will buy that piece of shit. The 3 guys that'll buy it, the people that are suggesting that the Mustang stay gas, big power, never electric, are the same people that cannot afford one. Plain and simple, the same people that say what a GT500 should be, what the Mustang should be, what hot rods should be, are the same people that are watching the event, not running the event. So I don't listen to them knuckle-dragging fucking dinosaurs. Not at all. Someone said, send that hoe. They get scared. Laugh my ass off. Alex, what did you think of the comp cams on the Steeda Silver Bullet? Significant gains or not with the money? Not worth the money. Can't afford to fix a motor, so no boost for me. That car picked up a lot of mile an hour with cams. That car picked up a ton of jam with those cams. So if you want to know more in-depth stuff about it, hit us up at support@lundracing.com and we'll talk in-depth about the cam stuff. Because Junior knows about it more than I do. If Junior wants to make a post, if Junior wants to talk about it, or we keep the phasing to ourselves and then just tune your car, because there's certain things that we're just not going to give away that we find out and we R&D with people and partners like Steeda, that we're just not going to give all the information. We vet the tune, they vet the part. We sell the tune with the part, and it performs better than most because we do all the testing. That's what separates us from a lot of other tuners. We do all the testing. We have people that work with us. We try 5,000 different cam timing, table or cam timing or cam phasing, and the car reacts well or doesn't. And then we could say this part good, this part is good, this part is not. A 9-second NA18, and then Robert Ball goes out there and runs a 9-second NA15 both auto. That's pretty impressive. Another good one, Paul Monaco says. Another good one says, yeah, it ran so and so, but on that pass, it was on low boost. Exactly. I'm so sick and tired of everyone saying, I'm going to go to the track on low boost. And why go to the track? Why go to the track? Like, does it not hook? Do you have transmission trouble? I'm on Facebook and I pay attention to all these fucking guys. And they're like, yeah, I'm trying some stuff on low boost. Why? Well, so they go out there and run a good number, and then they're like, I can't wait to turn it up. Well, okay, put the pulley on. Put the pulley on right now. Put the pulley on. Look, I'm going to help you. There's 4 bolts. Let's put the pulley on right now, and let's go. No? Why? Why not? Why not? I don't get it. I'm lost. How about all those blower up Coyote motors, not Lund tunes? Mexico Racing League has some nasty fast stock engine cars. Yeah, dude. So Whipple cars are pretty well into the sixes with the 85. Edelbrock cars are into the eights with, I'm sorry, well into the eights on the 85. Whipple and Edelbrock cars have been 860s. The Black Bean, our development 18, will be at Mod Nationals, and that'll be running a Whipple with a Cobra Jet Cold Air, a 3.5 pulley, and all the jam with a built transmission. We're hoping for 8s from that car, and John Jr. will be driving that at Mod Nats, and I'll be bringing the Fairmont. And where's the guy with the twin turbo that was talking shit? I called him out. Let's go to Mod Nats and race, bro. Fuck it. You beat me, you beat me. I don't give a shit, but you're the one talking shit. Let's go. Where are you? Why did he disappear? Where's he at? Did Blue Goose snap the strut or bend it? Snapped it, poor boy. Snapped the freaking shaft in half. Gone. Alex, can you pick up a virus from a tune? Is it possible? You know, I don't know. Any email attachment has the potential of being a virus. But we typically don't, you know, when you export the tune on the software that we have, it doesn't like, it's really hard for it to have a virus unless your computer, mine, is infected and it somehow piggybacks off of it. But I can't imagine. I'm not privy to all that bullshit, but I've never had anyone say your tune gave me a virus. Track mode is good for 0.5 faster ETs. Maybe. Alex said nobody cares about racing NA stuff. Did you get some form of boost and go faster? Look, we care about racing NA stuff as a tuner, but at the end of the day, fast shit is what sells. And a lot of people that own a Mustang have no money. So how much does it cost to make an NA car fast? Think about it. Cam's 1800, Cobra Jet setup, total, throttle body, cold air, intake, another 15 to 1600, E85, a converter, great axles. I mean, all this stuff, and you're going to be running a 9-second or so quarter mile. Or, I'm sorry, a 10-second or low 11-second quarter mile. A blower will get you to the 1050s with a kit, 10 pounds of boost, and you're good, you know, in good air. So it all depends on where you want to spend your money. I think the NA thing is more of like a point of pride. Man, I did it with all motor. Fuck the blower, guys. I understand. But when it comes to budgeting and saying what's a better combo for the money, aka bang for the buck, blower. Forced Induction Drive says, back when you were millwright, how did you keep idiot employees from constantly bothering you? I've been interrupted 10 times since your vid started. I had my headphones in if I wanted to watch something and just didn't like look at them. I like, if I wanted, let's say if I'm on break or whatever, I was one of those guys like at the gym. You put the headphones in and you just, like, I really tried hard not to blow up on people, because crewing for a car at a race, you have to keep your cool and you have to make sure that the driver is in a good place. And John Lund Sr. is he's ice cold. He's very like, we're going to do this. We're going to fuck shit up. We're going to, you know, and he's very, but, you know, he can get, you know, a little up and down. So you have to keep your cool. So when I'm trying to just go around the car and there's a guy with his cell phone, like, I'm like, hey, give me a sec. And I say it very nicely. Hey, you mind? Hey, you mind? Hey, you mind? And eventually I say, you guys got to get out of here. I have to get to the pits in like 20 minutes. You guys got to get out of here. And but I got a question. Dude, I get it. We're at the track and you want to get a hold of us. But if you see people rushing around focused on something, don't bother them. Just back off. I have never in my life gone to an event and gone anywhere near the cars. Same people that go up to a show car that's really pretty and they got their fucking badge and it's scratching the paint and they got their buttons up against it and they're doing this to the is that real carbon fiber? Scratch. You know, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, mom didn't fucking raise you right. Fuck out of here. Give yourself a fucking 10-foot zone. Look at it, admire it, move on. Ryan Wright says, nice meeting you and Senior. WCF was hoping to see the Blue Goose, but could only get there Friday. Yeah, sorry. Friday we were just thrashing on the transmission, man. That sucked. Putting an 18 manifold on my 16, do I need a retune? Oh, yeah. And a $100 upcharge and lock out the IMRCs. How was Senior feeling after the wheel stand? Did he need a new tracksuit? Alexander Cadell. Senior's reaction was great. He goes, I need a medic. I need a medic. And I'm like, what happened? He hit hard. Look, he hit really hard. His back compressed. Remember, he's strapped in tight. So he feels everything. And the helmet has a Hans device. So he can't really cushion the fall. He can't lift up a little bit on the seat or nothing. He hits at the same speed the car is coming down. So it'll compress your spine pretty bad. So he was hurting a little bit. You should pick out that daughter that bought the challenge. You should pick out that daughter that bought the Challenger. You should pick out that daughter. You should kick out that daughter that bought the Challenger. I don't even know what that means. Hey, Alex, can you talk about how to use an N2MB watt box as a trans brake on a 19 auto car? Nope. Sure can't. Sorry. No, I can't. Because I don't care. I don't care for any watt box, like ever, or any MSD two-step. The MSD two-step was in my red car, and I used it 3 times or 4 times to test something to make sure the throttle didn't get stuck wide open. But at the track, I never used the trans brake and the watt box or the two-step because didn't need it. It cut 131 60 foot with foot brake, so in a 4,000-pound car. Love you, but I just don't care. Alex, race my S281. That means you probably have a quick car, because if you're calling me out with a 2-valve, it's probably real quick. But I'll race anybody. If you want to have some fun, if there's like a grudge race or open session or something, and if anybody wants some of the Fairmont, it's right there. It's going to be a mod net, and call me the can man, because anyone can get it. That's an Adrian Broner reference. He said it worse, though. Adrian Broner's a boxer. He said, call me the can man, because any can get it. Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Africans. I thought that was very good. Appreciate the honesty, Alex. Yeah, man, I love you, 5 liter and 550 cal. Junior or maybe Nardi, if you want to hit them up and see how it works and how to wire it in and how everything. Honestly, we have a guy, Alexander. He has a watt box on his car, and the watt box needs to get the RPM signal, I believe, from the fuel injector, because it's off if you get it from the conventional source, and N2MB doesn't give you directions on how to get it. So I think you have to get it off of the injector, the RPM signal, because it's more consistent than where you normally grab it. But in terms of how it works and the intricacies, I know how the software works. I know where to set it. In terms of the wiring, I am terrible at wiring. I don't care about wiring. I will work really hard and pay someone that knows how to wire my car. Honestly, that's how I'm at right now in life. If I can't do it, I will just work really hard, make a bunch of videos, work extra for John Sr., and pay someone well-equipped to handle the job properly than to try to do it myself and learn it. I don't need to build the car myself. Fuck that. How's the Fairmont doing for keeping it in one lane? Suspension dialed in now? Friday's the first track session. I've been at WCF all week. Friday is the first track session, weather permitting. And if not, I will be at the Test and Tune Thursday at Mod Nationals, and I'm going to make sure there's a track rental Thursday, so I'm going to be there dialing everything in, launches, timing. I'm going to buy new tires just in case. Hopefully someone's there to swap tires. If not, I'll have to learn how to swap tires on beadlocks real quick. Popeye chicken sandwich hype. So I've never gone to a Popeye's chicken, and I don't think you'll catch me dead at a Popeye's chicken. Why is that? Where the Popeye's chicken located? Next to Metro PCS, next to some laundromat, next to somewhere you might get shot. I'm good. Dude got stabbed at Popeyes. Exactly. I'm good. Running errands on Street R tires? Yep. Alex, the clutch on my 19 GT engages at the very top of the travel. Any ideas on how to bring it down to the middle? I know it's hydraulic. I have no clue how to even can be adjusted. Nope. Nothing that I know can adjust the height of where it engages or disengages. It sounds like to me like it's worn. If it's not worn, try to take the clutch assist spring out of the pedal and see if that helps. But I do not know what can physically make the travel, the pedal engagement lower than it is now based on an adjustment. There's no cable. It's hydraulic. So how do you adjust that? I don't know. Popeyes is the best. You're missing out. No, I'm not. I'm not missing out on getting stabbed. I'm good. Only 60 likes, almost 700 in the room. That's okay. I don't care about likes. People are watching. You know what people do? People just listen. People just sit their ass down and listen and treat it like a podcast or something like that. Church's chicken for the win. Okay. in a truck stop, Burger Kings, or Hood for show. Hey, Alex, what's in the cup? This is a Flanagan's cup. If you don't know what a Flanagan's is, it's the best place ever. It's water and ice. That's it. I don't drink. I've never had a drink in my life. I don't drink alcohol. I'm not religious or anything like that. I'm not a psychopath or a recovering alcoholic. I just have never drank alcohol. I was a very good athlete growing up, and I wanted to, become a baseball player. So I took it serious. So I didn't do drugs. I didn't do any of that bullshit, and it just stuck. I'm an asshole without needing booze to be an asshole. So I just never drank or anything. But yeah, it's just basically water and ice. Sorry to be boring. Yeah, no, Gene in Silk City. I've never had a drop of alcohol, like a drop, wine, nothing, like absolutely nothing. And people say, why not? I'm like, well, have you ever had, I know this is a stupid example because people think I don't, have you ever, you ever try mushrooms? Most people say no. So people say yes. I was never curious. No, my dad wasn't alcoholic. No one in my family was a crazy psycho alcoholic. They just drank like normal. I just wanted to fucking be a badass baseball player. So I just, at a young age, I was like, fuck this. I'm going to be the baddest motherfucker on the planet, and I'm going to make sure I give myself the best shot ever. Just didn't work out that way. If you're Puerto Rican and you haven't gotten into the MLB by the age of 7, you won't. You are not kidding, Jay Rubin. The crazy thing about baseball is they recruit overseas, and not just overseas, but like they set up camps like in the Dominican Republic, Cuba, and Puerto Rico. They set up camps. So they pull your ass out of school if you have an arm, and by the age of 14, 15, 16, you already got a contract. Here, they don't do that. Here, if you're fucked if you're in the Northeast and your parents are poor. You're fucked because you could be the most talented motherfucker on the planet. You could be so super talented, and you're in the Northeast, so baseball stops in, September, October. It stops, and you have 4 months, and you can't travel. You can't go on traveling teams. Your parents are poor shit. You are stuck, and that was my situation. My parents had no money, so when baseball stopped, I stopped, and I did nothing for 5 months until the tryouts the next year. That stunted everything. Now, in Florida and the warmer states, and parents that, really give their kids the best shot. Not psychopath parents that live through their kids, but real parents that give their kids the best shot because the kid loves it. Those kids have a better shot than someone like me who didn't really grow up with any money, grew up in the Northeast, cold as fuck, so you don't do anything for 5 months, and there goes your progress. Ever smoked the good stuff? I've never smoked anything. Come on. If I didn't drink, do you think I'd smoke? Look at these teeth. Ain't no smoke going through these motherfuckers. What's the point of drinking alcohol? That's the thing, Synergize. So that's the thing. Okay, so I'm one of those guys that I think that any decision you make that has been influenced by an outside, substance, whether it be drugs or anything, that's an excuse. I love that people say, well, I was drunk, so I fucked that fat chick. I will never say that because if I fuck a fat chick, I wanted to fuck a fat chick because I'm not drunk. So I never want to. I hear that so many times. Oh man, I was fucked up and I drove into a tree. Oh, I was fucked up. I was smoking weed and I don't know. I'm lazy and I ate too much. And I do not want anything affecting any decision I ever make. Same thing with steroids. Now, steroids is one of those funny ones, right? I think I'm okay with like testosterone replacement therapy, but I'm not okay with steroids to make you strong because that's not you. That's not you. I don't give a shit. I know you got to put in the work to get the muscle and everything, and I get it, but that's not you. That's the drugs helping you. If you can't do it on your own, fuck it. And I go to the gym, I see these guys lift what they can lift, and I'm like, God damn, But if I can lift the same amount without any drugs, I got this. I got you, because once you're off that shit, you fucking shrivel like a raisin. So yeah, I've never really. Someone said clouded judgment. Yeah, clouded judgment, drinking. Yeah, like, okay, how many of you guys out there, have done something stupid because you were drunk? I'm sure you guys did that shit. Drew for Sooner says, you played baseball. Did you ever dip? No, I thought dipping was so fucking stupid. Yeah. And guys talking about the other one, chew, where they had to chew, put it in their mouth, got it round, Then they took big red gum, chewed it, wrapped it around the chew, and stuffed it in their mouth. I was like, what the fuck just happened? What the fuck just happened? You just put chew in your mouth, brought it out, chewed big red gum, wrapped it around the chew, and then put the chew in your mouth, and you're just spitting up cinnamon flavored chew. And also the flavors for chew and dip were hilarious. Apple, peach, like the gayest shit. Like, why isn't it like bourbon or like Jack and Coke? It's like peach, apple, bubble gum. It's almost like vape. Vape is just as gay, actually gayer, because you're sucking on like a weed pen. I see guys like this. Then a bunch of, you don't know what's in their fist, and all of a sudden they let off this fucking cloud comes up. I'm like, wow, you're retarded. True for Sooner said, oh, sorry. Can you bench more than Nardi? Of course I can bench more than Nardi. Nardi ain't got shit on me. Come on. I love Nardi, but he can't outbench me. 2014 GT cold air intake throttle body long tooth. Do I need a retune if I go aftermarket wiper blades? Yes. The wiper blade switch has to be enabled. Mod Motor Ray. Hey, Alex. What would be better? Build my 8.8 that's already in my Fox or get a 9-inch? Been looking at Moser's Super 9-inch kit. Planning to go turbo, coyote swap, 1,000 plus horsepower. If you want badass shit, 9-inch. Every badass car at every race has a badass 9-inch, plain and simple. If you're looking to do badass shit, 8.8 is fine with 9-inch ends, 33 spline axles, and 5/8 studs. Fucking more than fine. Guys have gone 7s with that setup. We went 7s with a, unfortunately, actually, yeah, the Blue Goose is a good example. It's a 9-inch center section. So never had to fuck with it. Like, never. The axle hubs broke, everything. The fucking center section itself has not been fucked with. It's amazing. The 9-inch is King Daddy, in my opinion. In my most humble of opinions. Someone's like, I feel called out. Nasty, bro. Dipping gives me headaches. Do I need a retune if I run Sunoco E85R? Make sure the stoichiometric, the stoic is the same as E85, which is like 9.85. If it's the same, you're good. Me got a damn Dewey. Baseball was better with drugs. The only drug I ever I was on. It's so stupid. Benadryl. Benadryl fucks me up because I had allergies when I lived in the Northeast. So when I went to a game one time and I took 2 Benadryl and it felt like my head was disconnected from my body. I'm like, so is this like, am I high? Like, I don't know. And they're like, well, you're probably experiencing, like if you were to do like, some halfway decent weed. I was like, okay, whatever. Chew flavored chew. Alex, I've never done stairs, but I've been accused of it many times and can bench 500 for 3 after an hour and a half bench routine. That's badass, James. Holy shit. If you can put up 500, woo-wee, you got strong triceps, I bet, because that's my weakest lift, the bench. Deadlifts, I can probably bust out 500 easy. I'm not willing to do deadlifts anymore. My back is weak, and if it gets hurt for like a month. I cannot be down that long, so I do very light stuff, high reps. Light meaning 300, squat no more than 3 plates, deadlifts no more than 4 plates, bench no more than 3 plates. That's quote-unquote light. At how many degrees of positive knock should it be concerned or is an issue? Anything over 2 or 1.5, that if it's consistent, if it's a consistent 2, 2.5, something's going on, I did dip once, awful. Got sick as a dog, never again. Dip is weird. You basically get high off of the contact of the saliva and your cheek secreting the tobacco. It's just retarded. It's like fucking retarded. You mean YOLO wasn't under the influence? No. YOLO is like that normally. Imagine if I drank or did drugs. That YOLO character would be wild as fuck. But no, that's me normally. If you ever hung out with me for a decent amount of time, you're like, well, that guy's fucked up. And he's like not on anything. That's crazy shit. I'm going to start getting close to wrapping it up. It's already been an hour and 18 minutes. And once I say that, you guys start asking a bunch of crazy questions. So I'm going to wrap it up at about an hour and a half. I usually do this show for about an hour and a half. So at about 9:45 or so, I'm going to call it quits. Ricer Files returning soon. Alexander Cadell. So Ricer Files is something that happens depending if I come across a ricer. I don't like Rice Hunt. Rice Hunter would be pretty good. Rice Hunter. And then just constantly drive around looking for rice. The problem is that's a lot of driving. So no, I'm good. Everyone wants a dating story. No date story. Right? Dating story. I'm trying to, I love how you guys dating story. I'm trying to think of a dating story that will not offend someone. Alex, you missed Copacetic's question. Thank you. Let me see. Thanks for that, G Unit Silk City. Copacetic. Where are you? Christian Schulte. I don't know. I don't see Kevin Gonzalez, Mike, R. Gibbs, Demonic, Root Beer. I didn't see you. There's not that many paid questions today. I don't see anyone. Oh, here we go. Copacetic Lifestyle. 2014 GT500 to 2016 350. What would you buy and why? The 350. The 350 to me is like the best S550, the best Mustang ever made in stock form, meaning in stock form. The 16350 is super well balanced, has killer suspension, has killer brakes. It revs high, and with a blower, it's a bad bitch. It's got twin pumps. It's got twin pumps with a set of injectors like ID1000s, a blower, and twin booster pumps. Bitch will make 850. Boom, 850. GT500 probably make about the same, but it doesn't have the handling capabilities, the brakes, or the nimbleness and the feeling that the GT350 has. Now, the GT500 has a better trans, and it's probably a better drag racer than the 350, but I think the 350 is just a better car all around. Hey, Alex, just tuned in from Sydney. Hope you're well. How crazy was Blue Goose heading to the moon? Lund for the win. It was crazy because when I was behind the car, and then I saw the hood of the car, I went, that's not right. It was so quick that we have wheelie control in the car, meaning it pulls boost based on a certain degree. It tried to pull it out, but with an auto car, have you ever tried to pedal an auto car, especially 6 or 80 car? You whap, and you let off. And if the turbos are still spooled, no matter how fast you draw it out, that thing's still fucking moving. So you can hear in the log seeing you let off, but the car still went up really quick. It had momentum and just carried it, slammed down real hard. And then on the second run, after we fixed everything, he caught it earlier and he didn't pedal it on the way down. He just went, whoop, let off, and it landed softer, but it still bent a whole bunch of shit. That's why I don't think it'll be at Mod Nats. Halon 18 says, I just got here. I need to hear another 8-second snack pack. I need to hear another $8 snack pack story. Snack pack story? First time being able to watch the entire show live. Awesome, Giorgio. I didn't know that people actually wait up to watch the show live, but I get it. You want to interact, so I totally understand. John Cook says, bought a 17 GT Roush Supercharged. I know. I got a deal. Dude, 17s are fine. 15 and 17s are fine. The 18s suck. I'm in Texas looking for help cooling, radiator, and heat exchanger. Recommended products. AFCO or VMP have a dual fan, triple pass heat exchanger. Also upgrade to a Reich thermostat, like a 170. And that'll keep your cylinder head temp lower. But remember, PD blowers are on top of the engine. So it's going to grab some of that engine heat and it's going to be hotter. 140 IAT technically isn't that bad because it's not pulling a whole bunch of timing. Different than a centrifugal where it hovers at about ambient, but the TVS is always going to hit hard, and at 140 or 130 or 120, it's not losing that much power. Trust me, it's not losing that much power as compared to a centrifugal at 100. Trust me, it's not, because a VMP or a Roush 2.3 blower at 140 IAT 10 psi makes 650, and the Vortec one at 10 psi makes 650. It does have lower IAT, but it makes the same power, and you have torque with the TVS. Look, I love both. I'm still a TVS guy, like till I die. I love it. My only hope, Casey says, say Patrick Selder is gay. He's probably not gay, but since you paid me $2, Patrick Selder is gay. You see PO300 codes a lot. Yeah, the 18s, especially at startup, for whatever reason, have this weird low threshold for misfires, and they kick off. I'm trying to think of a dating story while I'm saying this, but I can't really think of any off the bat that would be that interesting. I'm trying to think. Some are very, I got to be respectful. But some are very crude, and I couldn't say the story without like potentially pissing someone off. So I'm going to be a good guy. I'll try to. The thing is, the one that comes to mind is so wild that I can't even mention it, because it's just going to piss off a lot of people. Look, Oh gosh, I wish I could. I'd have to tell you guys in person because I can't. I cannot. No Tony Bolton tonight. I'm pissed. It's lit dating story. Do it. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I should say. Oh man, let me think. Let me give me a second, guys. Let me really think of something that happened that I can tell you about. I told you about the Indian girl that had a smelly armpit. I told you about the airline. What do you call it? Flight attendant that was a guy that hit on me. Someone says Paxton Vortec or Pro Charger for 18. Either, all three. All three make power. I prefer Paxton or Vortec. Pro Charger. I have a history with someone that tunes there, so fuck them. But the supercharger itself is fine. Hey Alex, as an early 20s guy, what's the best way to get in tuning business and work for somewhere like PBH or Lund, or where do I get started? That's a very good question, Pat. The pasty narwhal. Sales. You have to sell something, okay? That's how you become valuable in the business. I was actually thinking about that. I'm like, how do I tell people how to get into this business? You got to become, TJ Rodding says second gear leave in Blue Goose. No, it's first gear leave because it's a 6R80 with a 4R200 hub. Sales. You have to get in sales. You have to get in on the ground level, and be good at it, right? Let's say, for instance, you become a service advisor or service writer, or you're sweeping the floors. You work your way up to sales, phone sales. That's where you learn combinations. That's where you learn everything. That's where you learn how to deal with people. That's how you learn how to, have a personality. People go to you. Like, if people request me, I'm flattered. That means they like how I come across the information. Sales. Sell shit. Work for a company that sells shit in the auto industry, whether it be a parts store or whatever. Trust me. That's the way to get in. Then avenues open because they like you. A tuner's going to say, I like you. You're a very good sales guy, and you would be great because you have to deal with people on a day-to-day basis and not get emotional. And you have a good, aptitude of learning computers, and you're decent at math, and you have a genuine interest in it. Become good at selling a product, anything. If it's a entry-level job, selling. Do not get frustrated. Don't say this job sucks. If you want to become a tuner, that's how you do it. You have to get into sales first, deal with customers, customer service, and then it'll parlay potentially into a tuning position if you have interest in it, show interest in it, and make sure that the person you're working for has a tuning department that would say, that motherfucker is great and we like him because he's great. Sales and customer service are the way to go, plain and simple. You got to sacrifice, okay? Understand, you got to sacrifice in the beginning. You cannot expect to go into a sales position making $100,000 a year, making 80, making 70, making 60. You're going to be making shit money for a little while. But if you're good and you stay there and you're fucking badass. When I worked at Bomberas as a service writer, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But you know what? People liked me. So they said, man, I don't know what the fuck you're saying, but I like you and I trust that you're going to take care of me. And I'm like, I'm going to take care of you. I got you. And they're like, wow, that's great. And that attitude, carried over, and I went to a track, and all of a sudden, I met John Lund Sr. at a track. And he's like, how you doing? You're that internet douchebag. I go, yeah, I guess. And we talked. We just talked. I told him about car combos, what I did at Bomberas. Boom, 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 boom. He liked me. He's like, damn, this dude is good. He knows his shit. And that's how you do it. You got to sell something, become a customer service rep, and then do good at that. That will be the best, quickest, best way to get into the industry in some kind of capacity, whether it's tuning or sales. Get in the industry. There is money to be made here. It is lucrative, but don't fuck people. Don't be a piece of shit. Be honest, and that will absolutely take you further than anything else. Haik Boyadan, whatever the hell his name is, Boyadijan, says, thoughts on Twin Turbo Kit General Coyote 6R80. Do you recommend 60mm or 67? Plan is 600 or 900 later. 60s are fine for both power, and you don't need 67s. That's a big boy blower. You can make 1,000 plus easy. So, I'm sorry, big boy turbo. So that's 1,000 plus easy. Sorry to clarify. Second gear leave consideration should be like a power glide. Ooh, no. I mean, we can just get a numerically lower number in the rear end, DJ. DGR, Dr. Jotting. I said DJ, Dr. Rotting, whatever, Dr. Jotting. It's got a 340 gear now. We can go to 3.2 or 3.0 gear, and that will make it a longer first gear ratio and keep the nose down, hopefully. But Very good. I just got an engine from YMR Industries and it blew up in a day. They even used the best Loctite too. That's great. You missed both of my paid questions. All right, curious one. Here we go. 16 Mustang GT Roush Cold Air, 3-inch catback, no catback pipe, no tune. Smells like sulfur on hard acceleration only. 16 GT Roush Cold Air, 3-inch catback pipe, no tune. Smells. So you got cats, right? You probably have cats. The cats are getting hot, and that's that sulfur smell because you said catback. So it is more than likely your catalytic converter is getting hot, just like mine. My 19 Mustang still has the cats. I go, what? I smell it. I go, they're the cats. Plain and simple. And Curious One had another question? No? Where's the other question? Curious One. Oh, it's you paid the same. Dude, don't pay twice. Sorry, I get to it. I get on a roll and I want to talk, so we'll go from there. Alex, this girl that is too thick for my liking wants me, but her slimmer friend is the one to go for. What would you do? The one that likes you. Go out with the girl that likes you. Because the thinner friend doesn't like you, right? Her thinner friend is slimmer. What would I do? I'd go out with the girl that likes me. Let's say the girl, she's too thick, but is she nice? Does she treat you well? Does she rub your back? Does she rub your shoulders? Does she cook, clean, support what you do, support your hobby? Or is the slimmer chick a good lay? So I would go out with the one that likes you as opposed to the one that looks really good. It changes. I hate to say this because I'm getting older, but the older you get, your priorities change. Yeah, hot chicks are hot and they're great and they love to be chased and all this shit, but I'm the hot chick. This is what I tell people. I'm the hot chick, right? So I'm going to treat my situation like I'm the hot chick. So I'm like, no, you got to come after me. And if the girl likes me, that's the one I go after. You know, I'm not going to chase. I'm not going to chase all that much. You know, I'm not at my age. I'm like, nah, you know, be nice, treat people well, and if they like you, go after the one that likes you. If you're gonna chase the one that you think is hot and doesn't like you, and that pisses you off, and you're gonna pursue her even more. And they love that shit. They love, like, hey, look at this fucking dumb motherfucker's buying me shit all the time. I ain't gonna give him no pussy. Man, you could have done talk radio, maybe. Does she lick your tank? Your tank or taint? Couldn't have explained it any better. Thank you, Vinny's Customs. Alex, about to settle down. No, really. Not settling down. Settling down sounds like kids and shit. But, I mean, I was single for 2 years. And look, I experienced all of it. I experienced, you know, all of it, all the spectrums. And I found out if they like you and they're around and they genuinely give a shit about what you got going on and they're decent to talk to and good to be around and, you know, good in bed, why look anywhere else? Do you pack a lunch if you go out with your big girl? That's funny. Well, you know what? Big girls might cook well. The size doesn't matter to me, dude. A big girl doesn't matter to me, man. I've gone out with bigger girls and there's no issue. How are they as a person? That's the biggest thing. Look, you obviously have to be attracted to them. You have to be attracted to them. But, you know, you can't just go out with a very big girl because I'm kind of a fitter guy. So I want you to like, hey, you know, let's go to the gym, babe. I'll get you tightened up. And if they're like opposed to it, I'm like, All right, I'm going to get going. No dating story tonight because I couldn't think of one that was something I can say that wouldn't piss some people off. I want to be good. I want to be a good guy. I'll eventually get to it and maybe find a way of making it, you know, a way of me being able to tell you the story without being lewd and crazy and dumb with the comments. So, all right, Randy Hernandez says, have you ever had any accidents while racing? No. Big girls have a job and bank account. It's a good point. You about to take her Planet Fitness? Good idea. I'm not a fan. Just want to hear him rant. I had a 6'1" tall chick, not hot as fuck, but dumb. Yeah, trust me. I've gone out with a girl that was 6'1". She was actually really smart. Not big, really good, but just weren't compatible. But yeah, I mean, you'd see her, you're like intimidating, but you know, climb that mountain. It's all good. All right, out of here. Check you later. Get me next week. We'll talk some more shit next week. See you later.